Northeast Tonight, brought to you by Oil India Limited, conquering newer horizons.
Hello and welcome to Notice Tonight, the show that decodes the region. If the human race has evolved today, it is because they have faced toughest of challenges and have surmounted them. The 21-day lockdown, therefore, is nothing that we cannot bear with. More so, if this is being enforced for our own safety and that of the society we live in. But yes, now that we are forced to be confined to our homes, we have got an opportunity like never before to introspect on life itself and take a close, hard look at ourselves and our actions. Let's try and find out how people with a wide fan following, people from the world of culture and entertainment, are spending their days and what this confinement means to them. I'm joined from Mumbai by singer and composer Angarag Papan Mahanta. In New Delhi, I have actor Adil Hussain. From Dimapur, I'm joined by singer Alabanaga. Also in Mumbai, I have violinist and vocalist Sunita Khaun Bhuiya and her son Ranaji, a pianist. And at the studios with me in Guwahati, I have popular actor and director Kenny Basumatari. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Notice Tonight. Let me go straight to you in Mumbai, Angarag Papan Mahanta. Papan, welcome to Notice Tonight. How are you doing? What are you doing for the last 15 to 20 days at your home in Mumbai? Usually a busy guy, Papan. I know you must be doing quite a lot of things at home. Papan, can you hear me?
Mostly I am doing, hi, hello. Thank you for bringing me in on your show. So, yeah, to start off, I think mostly I'm doing washing dishes and mopping the floor and all of that, which is, I am sure everyone is doing who's locked up. We don't have a help at home, so it's just the four of us, my two kids, me and Shweta. So yeah, basically very, very busy with household chores, and we haven't done this for a while, so we are kind of enjoying dividing the work amongst the four of us, teaching the young ones also to do household things they didn't know so much, so they are getting a hang of it. And yeah, they help in the kitchen. In fact, my 8-year-old, 10-year-old, they're very small, but they can cut vegetables now, and they actually do it every day. And yeah, so we're busy doing all this. Yeah.
Busy, okay, extremely busy with household chores. Papan, have you always been interested in cooking, or have you acquired some of these skills now? You're saying that, you are very, very busy doing household chores.
I am just the help because my wife is a really good cook, and she is a great housemaker also. I mean, she does a lot of things easy for me, but yeah, I am just the helping hand, I guess. Once in a while, I'm doing cooking I used to cook a bit when I was in my college days in Delhi with my friends. I used to share an apartment.
Okay.
So it's like those days again, I'm starting with washing dishes to cooking to gardening to mopping the floor every 4 days, doing jhadu every alternate day, dusting, take the clothes out of the washing machine and put them out. The kids also help a lot. They make the beds and they fold clothes, and so it's nice.
Nice, entire family busy. Kids also help. That is a very positive thing to hear in these days. Papan, how does mopping the floor how is the experience? Because, your fans need to know their icon mopping the floor, and you must tell them, how does it feel like mopping the floor?
It is very good. Actually, what we are doing on a serious note, not a serious note, but we also do a lot of, so we have made a timetable. It's been 3 weeks for us inside the house.
Yeah.
We have locked ourselves down before the lockdown happened because we knew that it's not a good idea to go out. Schools were closed. I had nowhere to go. I had no shows to go to or recording. So I thought, might as well seal ourselves to be prepared for what's coming.
Right.
So it's been 3 weeks, and so we have a timetable. We have on the refrigerator, we put a timetable, and we actually follow it because otherwise you feel lost if there's no discipline. We are like that. So we wake up, we make our beds and everything, and then we do a bit of exercise. In one side of the room, the sun comes in, and for everyone who's watching, if you are locked down, I think sun is also very important if you live in a flat or an apartment. So if you can go to the terrace or somewhere, because sun gives you vitamin D,
Right.
happiness, and for many, many things, sun is important.
Absolutely. Papon, don't go away. Stay on. Kenny Basumatari, you know, people know you as an actor and as someone who has been making fascinating movies, local kung fu, and sequel to that. But on a serious note, what do you think? You know, what lesson have you learned from what Papon just said? You know, he has been mopping the floor, and it has been a great experience. Children helping. So, on a serious note, Kenny, what does this lockdown mean to you? What has it taught you actually?
The main thing that the lockdown has taught me, Wasbir, is that the number of people in India who live in a bit of a precarious hand-to-mouth situation is far, far more than what we thought.
Yeah.
We living our privileged lives, and in our circle of family and friends, middle-class people who are pretty much well off. We have the savings to tide over this for a month or 2 months, but the number of people that are out in the streets, the number of people that have needed help of ration and simple things like soap and sanitary pads, the huge numbers of people who have needed this.
Yeah.
So it's mind-boggling to see just how much we still have to go before we can think of ourselves as a great country.
Absolutely. One good thing that I have personally noticed, I'm sure you have noticed, Kenny, in the last 2 weeks, is that, you know, people coming out, you know, in large numbers with the assistance of various agencies like the Assam Police and others, whatever they can, they are out on the streets distributing food, distributing essential items and so on. I think this is something which is a very positive sign to see in these gloomy few weeks actually.
Yes, definitely. That's one thing we've always... I read a quote long ago that money is like a magnifying glass. It just makes you more of who you already are.
Right.
So if you get a lot of money and if you're already conjuice, you'll become more conjuice. If you're already generous, you'll become more generous.
Absolutely.
And I think the virus is doing the same thing. People who were jerks before are more jerks now, attacking doctors and nurses. And people who are already generous and helpful before, they are being able to do more of that now by going and helping people in need.
Absolutely. Let us look at this whole thing from several positive points of view as well. Papon, on a serious note, Papon, what is the biggest lesson that you have learned in the last 3 weeks? You know, if I may ask you, have you introspected really on life itself?
It's just not one lesson, but there's a collective, collective of lessons and ideas which we are forced to now think again, which we should have otherwise thought. It's like, you know, my yoga, I have a yoga teacher who is to come, Yogi ji, not yoga, yog, he calls it yog. He's a pure guy.
Right.
So he also, you know, we've been discussing the same thing that, you know, since we can't go outside now, so you can go inside, which is within you, which means it's deep, but it's true that you have got finally time to understand you without the madness of being busy, which we need to be busy. We need to work. As human beings, we always need to work. But I think somewhere the human race, we were, the speed of development, rate of change, the speed of change was too much. Change is important, but the speed of change was, I think, super fast in the last decade or so, maybe a little more. So we needed to somewhere stop, and we had no idea how to slow down. We had no idea, and we never knew that something so bad will be in disguised in good in a way where it tells you a bigger story about how life is much above all these petty things we get into, like we get into finances, monies, anything, religion, caste, country, so many things we devise, we make. But then suddenly this thing comes and it unites humanity. It unites the entire world, saying that, you know, wait, the nature is way bigger than you are, so care. And also we know that nature is actually replenishing, you know, in terms of, is rejuvenating. We have seen bluer skies now. The kind of, you know, destruction in a way we have done to through pollution and everything has come down. So all
Papan,
of that-
I'll also bring in Adil Hussain now, but before that, I'll just ask you one more question. I'll bring in Adil Hussain after you just now. Papan, what are some of the survival tips you would like to give to your fans and viewers in general, Papan?
Yeah, they are. I think this is science in a way. It's okay. Obviously, it's kind of uneducated people. Literally, I believe sometimes my father used to tell me that being literate is not being educated. You can read books, but education is a whole big idea which comes from families, from upbringing and stuff. Reading books will not just take you there. So there are a lot of literate people also who's doing that, and maybe we have a lot of literacy is very low in our country. Also, I was saying, science-wise, it's momentum and inertia. I think people are still in that inertia of the speed of movement they were in. They are not able to stop themselves. They still need to go out and do that rush and adrenaline and whatever. They cannot slow down. It will take some time for them to realize that what's going wrong, and it's a huge thing. If they don't understand, we'll go into the loop of lockdowns for years if we don't finish it now.
Yeah. And what are your fans telling you to do? What are your fans telling you to do?
Well, see, there are lots of people know a lot now. There's WhatsApp University teaching you so much. So I don't know what to say, where to begin, but I would say, see, lots of friends of mine actually have sent me lots of lists of movies to watch, books to read. But trust me, and I have a studio at home. I can make music, which is one of my most closest thing to my heart, and my release point also. But still, having said that, I haven't had the time to watch Netflix. I haven't had the time to read books because I'm spending time. I mean, for the first 2-3 weeks now, I'm slowly getting into the pattern. I have so much to do at home. If you manage the home, few phone calls to your friends, spend time with your family, each one of them, if you give time. And
absolutely.
Nobody can go out, so you have to mentally be healthy also, not just physically.
Absolutely.
So if you want to be mentally healthy,
I'll stop you, Papan. Papan, you see, having you on the show and not asking you to sing something in this gloomy time, your fans and my viewers will not actually spare me. So please, play something to cheer up the people. Papan.
Okay. Okay, so I don't know what to sing.
Let's go full frame on Papan then. Yeah. Let's go full frame on Papan.
Maybe I can sing. I can sing a song I had sung in my first Bollywood movie song, actually, GAQ, so I'll sing. Okay. आओगे फोन पे बुलाओगे शाम की करारी चाय लबों से पिलाओगे आए हो आओगे न दिन भरे सताओगे रात की शीरी बाय से नींद में जगाओगे हो क्यों रात बाकी है हो क्यों साथ बाकी है तुम गए हम थम गए हर बात बाकी है गए तुझे क्यों.
Well, as usual, the magic in the voice, even in these times of distress, Papan, the magic is the same. Finally, Papan, your final comment on this situation. What is your message to the people?
This is just my message to everyone is just be patient, be positive. These are both P's. And, don't think of this as a lockdown by the government. It's your lockdown. You should lock yourself down. And not just 21 days. It could go longer. So just be patient. Find ways to keep yourself physically and mentally happy and, in good state. So that's it.
Absolutely.
And all the best to everyone. We'll come out of this. I know this. And India will do well. I know that too.
Absolutely. Thank you very much indeed, Papan, for joining me from Mumbai. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Wasbir. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Welcome. Kenny, before I go to Adil Hussain, Kenny, how have you been actually spending your time? Are you already planning your new movie, or what is the project that you're doing? What is your survival mantra?
Well, I seem to have actually had a lot of things to do even during this lockdown.
Right.
The first few days we spent making some awareness videos for my brother's YouTube channel, Heavy Budget. And then after that, I've been editing my next film, Local Utpat.
Local?
So, Utpat.
Local Utpat, okay.
So the edit for that is going on, and
Yeah.
I'll slowly start thinking about the music also, getting in touch with people to sing the songs, etc. So that's what's been keeping me busy, and I also cook half
You
the
cook?
time. Yeah. Mom cooks half the meals, I cook half the meals. So we've been
Okay. Mom
occupied.
cooks half the meals, you cook. Do you think you have become a better cook in the last few days?
Not necessarily. I've been cooking for many, many years now.
Okay.
So,
Oh, you are a veteran cook. So we will talk about her culinary skills. I'm joined by Adil Hussain, popular actor. Adil, once again, welcome. What has been, if I may ask you, what has been Adil Hussain's survival mantra during this lockdown? Have you ever experienced this before? Such kind of a confinement in the house? Adil.
No, Wasbir, you are wrong. I had this experience long before.
Okay.
And in much more severe way, because I have locked myself up on a river island for almost 3.5 years. Yes, and we didn't have electricity, we didn't have running water, we didn't have phone. And we had very minimal supply of food. And we used to grow our own food, but it was sort of a larger space, so definitely not used to being locked down inside an apartment in a city like Delhi. If I was in Gwalpara in Assam, it would have been better, because then I would have gone to the pond and swam in the pond inside the house. So definitely it is different.
Yeah.
But I must say, Wasbir, that this is a very new experience in terms of being in a city and lockdown. So it is definitely different. But what I'm used to is living very minimally. The word that I always use is called frugality. The frugal living, that you live with minimum resources and wasting minimum resources, trying to live by with minimum food, and teach your kid to have, to live by with small little things, and how to find happiness or a little smile in tiny little things. So that's what I'm learning. Thank you.
Now, how has this last few days been actually, Adil?
The only mantra that I think, and I think it will help everybody, that every breath that we take, that we are alive, and to be in gratitude to be alive. So I practice it consciously quite a few hours during the day, and unconsciously or sort of subconsciously throughout the day, that I'm breathing, I'm alive, and I'm in gratitude. And I think gratitude, just in Sanskrit, kritagata, ba homiyat kritagata boli koi. Gratitude is one of the most beautiful tools that we can use in order to keep ourselves peaceful and happy and alive in a beautiful way.
Okay, let's bring in Sunita Khaun Bhuiyan at this stage. Sunita Khaun Bhuiyan is a well-known vocalist and violinist who has toured the world. She's from Guwahati, who has toured the world with her fantastic violin pieces. But before I go to Sunita right now, Adil, please stay on. Yes, Sunita is there. I can see her. Sunita, how are you doing, and what is the biggest lesson learned from the lockdown, Sunita?
Hello, Wasbir. Thanks for the invitation to be on your show yet again. And how are we doing? Well, by God's grace, we're under one roof. We've got shelter, we are locked down, and we've got a few family members around us So, in the context of things, I'm doing well, thanks to God. I am with my son and my sister-in-law and a friend in the same house. We have been locked down since the 22nd. My husband is under lockdown in Assam, so the family is apart. And I hope that all of you and all of us around the world are safe and well. And Bombay, is a high-risk city for the coronavirus, as it's such a huge metro, such a large population, such a huge international airport, such a lot of thoroughfare. People from all over the world go via Bombay.
Right. Let's have Adil and Kenny also on the screen. Now, Sunita, there is gloom all around, but one can see light looking at the solidarity of us as Indians in this time of crisis, isn't it? Let's have the other guest on the screen as well.
There is definitely gloom. There's definitely a sense of insecurity. There's a sense of a different world that's emerging. Like people have been writing that we went to sleep in a different world, we woke up on the other side. Everything is going to change. The way people look at family, the way people look at the essential things in life, the way people look at careers, the way people look at politics, the way people look at society. It's going to change. But what is very credible, what's very heartwarming is that the way India has been battling this, it's taken an immense proactive measure. Very, very proud to be an Indian today. Very proud that our Prime Minister and our government has taken such stringent measures to break the chain, flatten the curve so that India doesn't go to stage 3. An amazing solidarity has been shown by all diasporas to be able to come together as a nation in this. And yes, a lot of politics has happened just before Corona came with the CAA, NRC, and so much that's bothered all of us. But in this decision of the administration, everyone has been cooperating. We know that we've got to maintain the social distance. We've got to flatten the curve. We've got to break the chain.
Let us have all our guests, including Alabo Naga, on the screen. I'd like to bring you Alabo Naga from Dimapur. But before that, Kenny, there's a lesson. Every incident, every kind of a situation teaches you a lesson. I'm coming to you, Alabo, right after Kenny. Yes. So every lesson every situation, there's a lesson to be learned.
Definitely. And I think the biggest lesson we should learn here is that we have screwed around with Mother Nature for too long, and we really need to be careful and take care of the planet now, because if we continue being indiscriminate and throwing garbage and littering everywhere and filling up the earth with plastic, then the planet will fight back and hit us. And it's now doing so through this tiny little thing, a virus. So we need to change the way we are living.
So change the way we are living. Alabo Naga, from Dimapur, well-known, iconic singer from Nagaland. Alabo Naga, how are you doing? What is the biggest lesson that you have learned? Or what is the biggest lesson that the lockdown has taught you? Alabo.
I know lockdown is not easy, and then there are a lot of people who are stressed, who are bored, who are going through depression right now. But I want to tell you, please hold on, okay? This is just a phase. It's going to go away. Whatever the government is doing is for the betterment of us. So please stay whole. And if you are bored and if you don't know what to do, then I have some tips, okay? I've been doing all this thing.
All right. Once again, back to you, Adil Hussain. On a serious note, what has this lockdown taught you? Have you started looking at life a little differently, Adil? You think a lot. So what does this lockdown, have you been able to look at life a little differently?
I'm sure that different individuals would learn different kinds of lessons, but I guess I can say safely that what we could possibly all learn is that how is it possible for us to be emotionally and physically be very, very healthy and find tools in order to be healthy physically and emotionally. The trouble with our education system that I have seen since my childhood, that we had been taught to be a go-getter, that go and get it, survival for the fittest. This attitude is not going to work.
Okay, and now one more thing I'd like to ask you, Adil. What would you like to tell your fellow citizens, because while majority are following the lockdown norms by heeding to the call made by our Prime Minister, some people are getting impatient and going out without bothering about their own safety as well as safety of the society. We have heard, we have seen these kind of instances as well, Adil.
That's what I'm saying, that we have created a society where we have left out a lot of people uneducated, educated but in a different way. That's what I was talking about. The education that we have, it is not to care for the other. It is always about my personal gain. How can I get it? How can I become a bread earner, a money earner over the other people?
Yeah.
We have taught people to outsmart the other person. That's our mode of education. And in this crisis situation, we are blaming the other person. We are blaming, people, those who are going out, those who are sensible, they're staying home. But a lot of people are going out because they don't understand that by their whimsical decision to go out, they're putting other people in trouble. So we have rarely cared for the other anyways. So the previous question that you asked me, that we must find a way to have a radical shift in our education system in order to what we teach our people, what we teach our young ones, what we teach our future generation, that to be a go-getter or to live in harmony and with peace and with emotional well-being, with minimum things. Like we have seen now, the world has crumbled to the point that we cannot have a global market. The factory we have shifted to China, and we cannot have a global market. So we have to sustain ourselves within the society. We have to find a way to give importance to the dignity of labor, that all kinds of labor has to be. We have made a certain section of the society heroes before this happened. Only the military is hero, only the police force is hero. Now the heroes are the people, those who are cleaning the streets. They are the heroes. So we made a big mistake in order to only brand a certain kind of people heroes. So this attitude of negligence, ignorance, I would say, that has to go, that we have to respect each and every profession in all equality.
Okay, Kenny, that's a very important statement which Adil Hussain is making, Yes. It is not that only our soldiers are the heroes. They are indeed our heroes because they are protecting us. They are keeping India safe, our borders safe. We are safe inside and we can have a good night's sleep. But this incident has proved that whether it is the cleaners, whether it is the ambulance drivers, whether it is the nurses, whether it is the ordinary paramedic or the specialized doctors, these are the real heroes, Kenny.
I'll give you a very simple example. In front of our apartment complex, there's a small Galamal Dukan that's run by a couple. They are both over 60 years old. So they're actually in the higher risk category.
Right.
But they open their shops. Thanks to them, we don't have to go too far to get our everyday things, to get milk occasionally, to get sugar, to get sapat.
Right.
So if people like them, they could have easily shut shop and said, okay, forget it, we'll wait for
we are
a
in
month
case
or
belong
two.
to the high risk group.
Yes, exactly. So they could have just closed up shop, but no, they said, okay, manuhe beya pabo he karone ami dukan khula rakhisu. So people like that. And
so they basically what you're saying is that these old couple, they're keeping their grocery store open just for the benefit of the people in the locality.
Exactly.
So they're also, you are saying that they're doing a service.
Definitely. Even the person who drove me here today, he is also another example of a person who does a simple, supposedly lower job, but now even his work is turning out to be so important.
Extremely critical when there is no public conveyance available,
Exactly.
when you cannot drive your own car. All these things are important. That's what Adil has said extremely importantly. Let me also go to Alobo once again. Elabo Naga, Elabo, you are an iconic figure. A lot of people look up to you. What would you like to tell your fans and viewers of Northeast Live, Elabo?
Yeah, so the first thing is physical. We are so, we keep moving, it's so natural. We go to work, we go to school, colleges, we are constantly moving, and our physical, even though you don't go to gym, is moving. But during this lockdown, you're just eating, sleeping, you're just inside your house. So maybe some people are privileged enough to have the gym, they work out at home, but most of us, we don't have that. So I want to encourage you to keep working out, stretches, push up, at least even 10 minutes a day minimum. And then even though it's not the regular exercise, you can also go mop the floor, sweep, you can do so many. Yeah, you can go to the kitchen, work, you can go and fetch some water. So there's so many physical activities, works you can do, one. Second thing is studies, if you're a student, there's no excuse, study, I'm sure there won't be any summer vacation. So make the most out of it, study, study, study.
Okay. Don't go away. I'll have to listen to a song or a presentation from you, Elabo. I'll also request Sunita Kaun Bhuiyan for a piece on the show, because I cannot allow both of you, very, very exceptional musicians, to not play something. I'll go for a short break. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Adil Hussain, as humans, the extent of depredations that we have brought on Mother Earth, planet Earth, the way we have tortured nature, do you think perhaps this is nature's way of leveling people or getting back at all of us? Adil.
People had been talking about it, and it's about, I really believe in the Newton's third law of motion. Every action has a reaction, and the world, the universe survive. I think the basic mechanism of the universal law is that everything that we do has consequences, and the consequences will be faced, no matter it will be faced by me or by my children. But we are going to face the consequences. And in last 30 to 40, 50 years, when the market opened up, India joined in global market, and we have 1.3 billion people. Can you imagine 1.3 billion people, all of them driving cars and all of them running ACs, right, and all of them having all the amenities? And so this idea of modern living has to finally be looked at and radically shifted to minimize the consumption of the wealthy ones. Poor people, and when we burn the nature, when we consume and devour nature, the nature would, of course, do the things that nature would do. I mean, that's a normal, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that.
Of course. To you, Sunita Kaun, Sunita, how have you been passing time? Some tips for our viewers. Otherwise, you keep yourself extremely busy, your concerts, your tours, your compositions, and your talks. Sunita, last 3 weeks, how have you been passing time? Some tips for our viewers.
What a question to ask, Wasbir. How have you been, utilizing our time? Well, it's been a forced rest, and personally, it's been a very, very busy time for me for the last 10 years, in fact, in the last 2 years. it's been very satisfying, but I've been traveling and traveling and performing and traveling and working very hard. For every performance, you have to really work very hard for the build-up. For any international tour, one has to work so hard to get it all together.
Right.
So suddenly, everything has come to a standstill. It's heartbreaking. The things that we've planned for the next 6 months, everything has been cancelled. And for us artists, it's a huge, huge challenge because our work is the stage, our customers is the audience. Our music is an event-based craft. It's not a computer-based craft that you can sit at home and design things. So it's a huge challenge. But the pros of this is that we are trying to reinvent ourselves.
Absolutely. Let's stay with that. That is the young man there you can see on the screen. That is Sunita's son Raunak, a very, very budding pianist. Hi Raunak. Okay, we'll go to you, Alobo Naga. You know, did you ever think you would be locked up for 21 days like this in your lifetime? If you ask me, I never thought that I'll have to face this. Alobo.
Yeah, I never imagined that, but anyway, we have to deal with the situation. So, yeah, it's like a dream, you know. Yeah.
And what has been your daily routine? What has been your daily routine in the last few days, few weeks?
So as I said, wake up and do some exercises. Then we do. I'm a spiritual guy, so we do Bible studies, you know. Then I try to polish my skills. I try to practice piano, guitar, and I'm writing songs. In fact, I was writing songs on Corona right now. Yeah, so it'll be out.
Corona,
yeah,
okay.
Hopefully it'll be out soon. Then I spend time with my family. I do video conferencing with my friends. I call up relatives whom we don't keep in touch. And then I try to study books, subjects. You know, that is according to my life, where I'm going right now, the things that I need, I'm working on those subjects, yeah.
Okay. Now that you have said, what do you think, Kenny? I have to ask him to sing because he said that he's been writing a song on Corona. You know, I have to ask you to sing the song on Corona because having Alobo Naga on the program and not asking you to sing will be almost like a crime, Alobo. You have to sing something.
I can't, you know, I'm writing on, I'm writing the song, means the melody is not done, but the lyrics is something like, Aji kali hawa pani thek nai, itu pani thek nai, yeah. Itu karone social gathering bye bye. Gor bahar jabole pahuri jabi, gao hat hodai safa kuri thakibi, and then dunia sob বহি লাগি আছে করোনা করোনা খুশাৰ মই খান সব কিয়া করোনা কালি মই আৰু তই কারণী না হয় হইলে বি সব মানুহ আৰু কালি ভাল দিন কারণে I mean it's just going on, so something like that. So
Kenny, what do you think about the lyrics? Fantastic lyrics.
Indeed,
to match
very
the
nice.
time. Kenny, lyrics.
Super.
Comment on the lyrics.
Very nice, very catchy, entertaining.
Catchy, entertaining, and it fits the occasion. It's a message there, actually.
Definitely.
So, Alobo, why don't you sing this song for my viewers? And we have already given you a nod, fantastic lyrics. This is a small, comment from our studio. Kenny Bosumatari, well-known actor and producer, actor and director, is with me in the studio, saying that fantastic lyrics that fits the times. So, why don't you sing it for the viewers? Alobo.
let me sing a Nagami song for you, okay?
Yeah. Why don't you sing? Okay, anything. Even if you don't want to sing this Corona song, it's fine.
I'm going to put it down or something. Baba do doctor engineer he again. Go to Manu can so black on the NPC jam. Post the Manu can go government job na hoile come na. To so Manu itu kam kurile. Upon the laga gor kon banabo. Moyekta gorbo na mystery man I say. Isar ber hating dia to chola kena bet bale. Moyekta gorbo na mystery manual ase. Makushi ase aji. Yeah.
Wow.
Thank
wow,
you.
wow, wow. That's not the song, the lyrics of which you read out, but this is a song, if we have understood it right, Kenny, he's talking about if everybody is looking for a government job, who will build our house, who will do the odd jobs for us, and there is no harm. Everybody should do every kind of job. I think there's a message out there. What do you think?
Well, definitely. That's one thing that we in India need to understand, the dignity of labor. That just because somebody's job is supposedly lowly doesn't mean that we look down upon them. It doesn't mean that we treat them like our servants. So yes, that's a very good message that Alabo has in his song.
Now, little while ago, Kenny,
Yeah.
that Adil Hussain was saying that all the time we used to think that a certain category of people doing certain types of jobs are our heroes. But this coronavirus has demonstrated, taught us beyond doubts that there are a lot of people who can actually be heroes when the time comes. When the time comes, the cleaner, the sweeper, the ambulance driver, the nurses, the ward boys, everybody has demonstrated and proved, Kenny, that they are the heroes for which they are being clapped. They're getting a lot of applause.
Absolutely, definitely. Another example I've seen recently is a hospital worker who was in charge of getting rid of the biomedical waste. Can you imagine how hazardous that job is? Most people would not want to go anywhere near something that has been touched, that has been discarded by an infected patient. Yet there is somebody who is brave enough to pack up all that stuff and get rid of it in a safe way. So people like that are also heroes. They're also risking their lives to an extent. So we need to understand that just because somebody has a very high-paying salary, is very well looked upon, doesn't mean that somebody else who does not earn that same amount is not worthy of our respect. We should learn
Kenny,
this.
are you a worried man? A lot of people are saying that, okay, those who are in the government, they will get their salaries, they will get their pensions. And there's a feeling that for the people who are really poor, the government and the society will look after them. The people who are really rich, they can afford to hang on like this in this kind of a situation for a couple of months or maybe a year. But for the middle class, for the artist, for the people in the cultural community like you, who doesn't have a regular job, do you think these are extremely uncertain times? Are you worried? May not be for yourself, but are you worried for a lot of people in the entertainment and industry, artists, singers, musicians, technicians?
Definitely. Even if I'm personally sorted for now, if I think of somebody like the people who work in my films in the light department, the light boys, the spot boys, they are people who earn, 700-800 rupees a day. So for them, they need to work at least a certain number of days in a month in order to run their families, their households. But if now, it's very unlikely that we'll be able to shoot anything for quite some time. So for them, things will get a little dicey because it's unlikely that they have had a lot of savings accumulated.
So what's your message to do you want to tell the government anything specific? Because, today we have all people from the entertainment world, people from the cultural arena on this program. Kenny, what would you like to tell the government? Because our government in Assam is extremely proactive these days.
Yes.
They understand the problems of the people. Would you like to tell anything specific? Do you have a suggestion to make?
I am not an expert by any means on administrative matters, but the feeling that I have so far is that if we continue an all-encompassing lockdown, if we extend it too much, then the daily wages, people who depend on hand-to-mouth income, they will be very highly affected. So at least those which are absolutely essential services, like for example, tire puncture shops, just a simple example. Some vehicles are running, but if a car breaks down, then there's no mechanic to go to. So something like that could be open probably gradually.
And maybe there are some suggestions. I was going through the social media today. Another person like you from the cultural arena, artist, wrote a lady She wrote in the social media that the government must, like they're coming up with schemes for the farmers, for the daily wage earners, etc. They must also come up with some incentive for the people in the entertainment and cultural arena so that they can survive this lockdown and the period of uncertainty. Tomorrow, if you open the lockdown, if you end the lockdown, your work will not start from day one. You will take some time to,
Definitely.
So are you in favor of this kind of some kind of an incentive for these people?
Definitely. If we look at the example of Germany, Germany has given a lot of artists, I think it's a one-time payment of 4,000 euros or something, I don't know the exact amount, but they've transferred it into their bank account so that they can tide over this crisis for a few months.
So do you think Assam government should do something like that? Or the governments in the other northeastern states? Because our channel is watched very, very widely in the entire northeast.
Definitely.
What is your appeal?
I think government should try to do something for the artists as well.
Okay, I would also take the opportunity to speak a word on behalf of the artists, people from the cultural field in the entire northeastern region, to all the state governments in the northeast who are led by very, very proactive and people who are interested in the welfare of their own state and their people, to do something, to think on these lines, maybe come up with a one-time grant to people who are from the entertainment world, from the cultural world, so that they can tide over this crisis. Adil Hussain, I'm running short of time. Finally, do you see light at the end of the dark tunnel? Adil.
Yes, I'm smiling, but at the same time, my heart is heavy because we are paying a very high cost for this lesson to be learned.
Absolutely.
And right from the Mahabharata's age, the Kurukshetra happened. Krishna tried to stop both the parties from fighting. Nobody listened to him because of their egoism, because of their heroism or whatever they had to prove. Krishna tried his best, but nobody listened to him. And now we are almost at the brink of war, in a way, with ourselves, with our stupidity, with our ignorance. And I hope that we come out of it. I really hope that we'll come out of it. But the cost will be very high. Like in Mahabharata, the cost was extremely high. And that's what saddens me the most. Some of us will be lucky to get out of this situation with a lot of lessons to learn, and we will learn those lessons. And as I said, the cost will be very high.
Thank you very much, Adil, for speaking to me.
Please.
I think
we will. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's a very important point Adil Hussain has made, that we'll come out of this crisis, but at a very heavy price. And I hope everybody is able to emerge victorious or emerge successful out of this, and the government has to do a lot, their job cut out for them. Sunita, before I come to Sunita, I request her to make a presentation. Alabo, do you see light at the end of the dark tunnel? Is there light at the end, finally? Alabo.
Yes, there's always sunshine after the rain. So it's just a phase. And if we stay inside the house and then we do the social distancing seriously, then we can avoid this. And better days are going to come very soon. So just stay home and stay hygienic and always keep yourself clean. Yeah.
Absolutely. Stay home, stay hygienic, and we'll emerge out of this crisis. Alabo, thank you very much indeed for joining me in this special edition of Northeast Tonight. Sunita, finally to you. We would definitely like you and your son, to play a piece for our viewers in these extremely troubled times. Over to you, Sunita, and we will conclude the program with a last word from Kenny. Yes, Sunita, over to you. You and Ronak.
So, like you said, if we're coming on the show, we must do a piece for you. So here's a small piece along with Ronajit on the piano and the violin. Bihu is very close. I know that the Bihu season will not be the same this year. There will not be our mega Bihu events in Assam. My heart goes out to all those artists who survive for the Bihu season. And my humble appeal to the authorities, to the government, that there has to be some benefit there has to be some benefits to be compensations to be given to these artists, because how are they going to manage their homes?
That is
How will they get
Ranajit.
bread and butter?
Yes, that is Ranajit.
All
If I have
artists
said
are
Raunak in the
there.
beginning, please apologize. I apologize for that. It's Ranajit Hussain. Yes.
Are hit by the challenges, by the lockdown, by the world coming to a standstill, by the economic depression that we're foreseeing. But Bihu is near, and I really have to sing a Bihu, which I have to hear all spring. I have to invite spring. We all have to invite spring, because they say when winter comes, it's cold now and dry and bleak and sad. When winter comes, spring is soon to come.
All right, that was an excellent presentation by Sunita Khan Bhuiya and her son Ranajit. Thank you very much indeed for being on Notice Tonight. Last words, Kenny Basumatari.
I'd like to say, please beware of WhatsApp University. Please use Google. You see anything that looks too fantastic, oh wow, it's probably false. So please use Google. There are many websites which will do fact checking for you.
Yeah.
There's altnews.in. There's all the major channels have their own fact checking thing. And especially in these times now, people are trying to inject the communal virus also into this equation.
So don't fall into that trap. That's a very sound parting words from Kenny Basumatari. Beware of fake news. Don't panic. Stay at home. At the end of the day, as most of our panelists today, very, very well-known people, they are saying that we'll emerge out of this crisis, but we have to behave responsibly and stay home and heed to the call of the nation and our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. On that note, I end this edition of Notice Tonight. I thank all my panelists for taking time out to be on the show. Good night and goodbye.
Northeast Tonight, brought to you by Oil India Limited, conquering newer horizons.